Hi, welcome to ACROWRX. Today we're going to demonstrate how to score some maneuvers. We'll be looking at two maneuvers, numbers 1 and 2 from the 2024 Advanced Known Sequence. The first recommendation is to make the yellow trajectory behind the airplane persistent before the first maneuver. What this does is make the trajectory remain visible starting at this point, allowing you to zoom out at the end of the figure and see an overview from the judge's perspective. This helps with judging arcs and understanding the figure's overall shape. So let's press R, and from this point on, the yellow trajectory will stay persistent. Let's hit play. Here comes the pull. Let's pause quickly. Since you're looking at a 2D screen in ACROWRX, the best way to gauge the airplane's position relative to the box is by using the coordinate axes. The green line is the vertical axis, the blue line shows the horizontal Y direction, and the red line represents the X direction of the box. Now, because the green and blue lines are almost on top of each other, we can tell the airplane is flying this figure near the center of the box. You can also check the alignment of the wings relative to the red line. This shows how tilted the wings are. Right now, the right wing is slightly down by maybe less than 5 degrees. Moving on, the vertical line followed by a positive Humpty bump. As we pause, you'll notice the wings are pretty level, though there's a small bubble, and the left wing dips slightly here. Next, we have a 3/4 snap roll. Let's watch that. Ideally, after the snap, the wings should align with the blue axis, but there's a small deviation around 5 to 10 degrees. The airplane also seems a little negative after the snap. Now the second arc goes up, followed by a quarter roll. We'll pause again here. After the quarter roll, the left wing is still a bit low. Let's wait for the full horizontal line to come in. Here we pause again. Up to this point, you were able to see the 3/4 snap, which the stop wasn't perfect and finished negative, and the quarter roll, which was good, with just a small bobble. But it was hard to judge the arcs and the overall shape of the figure, right? So at this point, you can zoom out with the mouse wheel to get a better overview of the figure. You can also use the automatic judge head feature, which is really handy. Normally, ACROWRX keeps the judge view centered on the airplane, but by toggling this option, press H, you can move the view freely, clicking and dragging your mouse over the judge's view, which helps you see the entire figure. As you can see, the first Humpty was flown almost directly over the judge's view. After the 3/4 snap, the airplane had a slight negative attitude, causing the trajectory to drift to the left. Remember, when judging vertical lines, focus on the airplane's attitude rather than its trajectory, although the trajectory can help indicate whether the airplane was truly vertical. Looking closely, you can see the second half of the bottom, Humpty Bump, has a larger radius, likely due to the airplane's higher speed and less pull from the pilot at this point. The second vertical line looks normal, though slightly inclined to the left. However, since this part of the figure is on the right side of the box, perspective plays a role. The green vertical axis is slightly tilted, and so is the airplane's line, so the angle is parallax effect or likely due to some wind. At this point, we're ready to score the figure. I won't go over the scores here, but once you've reviewed the figure, you can add your remarks and scores. Now let's get ready for the second figure. To move on, reset the automatic judge head and return to your preferred zoom level. Toggle the trajectory persistency, letter R, once more so it's off. As you zoom back, you'll see the trajectory only follows the airplane by about 2 seconds. We'll turn it on again to let the trajectory persist through the second maneuver. Now, let's zoom in and start the second figure. Here, we expect a 1 1/4 inverted spin, followed by a P-loop, finishing with a 4 of 2 on the exit. So let's start. Here comes the spin. You can see the pitch, yaw, and roll happening at the same time, confirming it's a true spin. 1 turn, then 1 1/4. The airplane stops with a low wing, and the pilot levels it with rudder, ending the spin with a slight negative attitude. It seems like the pilot is adjusting the pitch, bringing the airplane back to a perfect vertical line. Okay, here comes the arc. As you can see, it's quite difficult to judge the arc if you zoom in too closely. Let's pause just before the roll. Yeah, it's pretty hard to see the arc clearly when zoomed in like this, right? But if you zoom out and toggle the judge head, Allowing you to move the viewpoint, you'll be able to see the arc much more clearly. It probably needs a bit more pull at the bottom. It's a bit flat here on the P-loop, but not too bad overall. Okay, let's go back and toggle the automatic head mode again. With the airplane centered, let's now watch that 4 of 2. So here we go. The first point looks good. The second point looks good. The third point, and now the fourth point, all looking solid, only with a small bobble there. So this gives you a nice overview of how to score maneuvers. Here we are in the mode where I have the pause and all the other features available. But if you're in judge mode, you won't have forward or rewind capabilities. You'll only have pause and play. As you've seen, I frequently use the pause and play functions to stop and observe key details. I also rely on the persistent trajectory, toggling it between each figure to reset it and get a clean view for the next figure. Additionally, I use the judge head to go back and review the overall shape of the figure. There's much more you can do with ACROWRX, but I think this gives you a good starting point for analyzing your flights. I hope this helps you get more comfortable with scoring, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.